Women choose intimate partners based on these 6 sexual triggers. We often talk about attraction like it's some surface-level checklist. Looks, money, charisma, but when it comes to what actually turns a woman on, what draws her to someone in a way she can't fully explain, the real triggers run much deeper. They're subtle, psychological, and incredibly intimate. In this video, we're going beyond flirting, beyond eye contact, and diving into 6 lesser-known sexual triggers that influence how women choose their partners, whether they realize it or not. 1. When your attention sharpens the moment sex becomes possible. This is one of those invisible shifts that sends a lightning bolt straight to her core. She notices when your energy changes, not when you flirt, but when desire enters the room. Most men try to keep their game face on, pretending they're unfazed, but when you let it change you slightly, the tone of your voice slows. Your eye contact lingers just a beat longer. You're not pressuring her, you're simply more there, more aware, more focused. That subtle shift in attention makes her body start negotiating with her brain. She can feel you noticing her, and not just her face, but the whole of her, and that psychological, spotlight, that's where arousal starts, not at her skin, but in her mind. To the way your touch holds intention, not just contact. You brush past her arm, you guide her by the lower back. You sit just close enough that your presence lingers on her skin, but here's the difference. It's not the act of touching, it's the intention behind it. Most men touch reactively, absent-minded, uncertain, accidental. But when your touch feels anchored, when it feels deliberate, even when it's gentle, that activates a part of her that links physical contact to emotional authority. She reads it immediately. A man who doesn't touch by mistake is a man who can handle her without needing to control her. That's not just attractive, it's erotic. It tells her you won't hesitate when things turn physical, and that confidence bleeds into every other area. 3. Your ability to remain unshaken when she tests sexual power. This is where a lot of men lose her without realizing it. At some point, she'll say something provocative, not to turn you on, but to test where you stand. She'll make a joke about kinks, or mention past lovers, or lean into tension just to see how you respond. And if you flinch, if you laugh nervously, deflect, or turn it into locker room banter, something in her shuts off. But when you meet that moment with steady, curious calm, you pass the test. She now knows you're not just comfortable with sexual energy, you own it, and that ownership makes her feel something she can't explain, not just attraction, but permission. Permission to reveal more, permission to be more. That's where the dynamic shifts from playful to electric. For how you make her feel like the source, not just the subject of desire. Most guys fall into the trap of performing attraction, giving compliments, showing interest, hyping her up. But here's the deeper trigger. When she doesn't just feel wanted but powerful, when she starts to sense that her effect on you turns her on, that she's doing something to you without even trying. The way your breath changes when she leans in, the way your body tenses when she teases you, that mirror of her erotic power reflected back at her is wildly intoxicating, because now the pleasure isn't just about her receiving attention, it's about her causing it. That flips the script. And when a woman feels like she is the reason you're unraveling, you've tapped into a deeper, more addictive layer of sexual chemistry. 5. Your ability to delay gratification with complete ease. Most men rush the moment, trying to turn flirtation into something physical as quickly as possible. But the real trigger, holding tension without needing release. You don't rush the kiss, you don't lean in too fast, you just let the space between you simmer. And that simmering, it's foreplay of the highest order, because here's what happens. She starts to feel the arousal. And then she notices you aren't trying to close the gap, that they're calm, receptive, waiting for the moment to ripen. That restraint isn't about being polite, it's about control, not of her, of yourself. And when a woman sees a man can want her and wait, her mind begins to race with one question: what would happen when he stops waiting? 6. When she feels emotionally exposed and sexually safe. This one isn't loud, it's not even visible, but it's the strongest sexual trigger of them all. When a woman feels like she can say something dark, strange, or deeply personal, and you don't look away when you make space for vulnerability without turning it into a therapy session or a joke, that's when she lets go. And when a woman lets go emotionally, her body follows. Because now sex doesn't feel like something to guard, it feels like something to share. You're no longer someone she's hooking up with, you're someone who sees her. And being seen is the most erotic experience in the world. When it's done to add more depth, it's important to understand these triggers aren't isolated, they overlap and amplify one another, creating a profound connection beyond the physical. They tap into the primal needs for recognition, safety, desire, and emotional intimacy that shape human sexuality. These triggers work on a subconscious level, and when you master them, you're not just increasing attraction, you're cultivating trust and genuine intimacy that sustains us. Deeper relationships, understanding that women's sexual attraction is as much about psychological safety and emotional presence as it is about physical appeal, shifts how you approach intimacy. It encourages a slower, more mindful engagement where your awareness and confidence create a magnetic field. She senses your authenticity, and that allows her to relax and fully experience desire without fear or hesitation. Remember, attraction is never a checklist. It's an ongoing dance of energy, presence, and emotional connection. These 6 triggers reveal what's truly happening beneath the surface. When desire is sparked, they show that the most powerful sexual connection happens when you're fully present with her in body, mind, and spirit. Embracing these deeper triggers elevates intimacy from a simple physical act to a meaningful exchange that honors both your desires and hers. This is where real passion lives and where lasting bonds are formed.